I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know.
Top 10 guns in Season 2 in Call of Mobile. So starting with the 80K, this gun is pretty good. I mean, it got a nerf back a long time ago with the large caliber ammo. Let reduce the damage and range a little, but with it, it's still pretty broken. You can see the stats here. It's pretty broken, so what I'm using is built-in suppressor, and I'm using strike stock, OWC laser tactical granular grip tape. This build is pretty good for domination. If you're trying to go try hard, you should use this build. This guy has a really high fire rate. Also, it's pretty good too. Controllable recoil. It has pretty good ADS time, so you should try this gun. My next gun is a KRM. So this gun is this shotgun. I mean, shotguns got nerfed like a few seasons ago, but with the new addition gunsmith, it's pretty good. So what I'm using is the choke. It gives me range, ADS bullet spread, and hip fire spread. You guys are probably wondering like, wait, why am I using this? I mean, this has less accuracy and less mobility, but gives me more range. I actually want more accuracy than more range, so that's why I'm using the choke. And I've extended to give me range, magazine capacity, ADS bullet spread, and hip fire spreads. And I'm using light stock. I mean, you can switch it out for something like no stock if you want, but I'm doing light stock because I don't want to lose too much ADS bullet spread. Like ADS bullet spread is on a shotgun, like how much like the bullets spread out and how much range you go to. On shotguns, you want as much ADS bullet spread as you can. And using MIP laser basically get hip fire spread and sprint the fire speed, and then I'm using granular grip tape. This shotgun's really good for aggressive search and destroy. You just smoke and you rush in. That's my shotgun build. My next gun is a QXR. This is a really aggressive weapon. So what I'm using is a monolithic suppressor, OWC marksman, and cans bolt. Like I said before in the previous videos, this attachment will increase your fire rate by one from 80 to 81, which like from 80 to 81, which may sound like only one increased fire rate, but it actually makes a huge difference. Makes your gun fire like way faster. And then also what else I'm using is OWC laser tactical, ADS bullet spread. And I'm using granular grip tape finally. That's my QXR loadout. For my HBR build, I'm using my monolithic suppressor, OWC marksman, classic red dot, no stock, and OWC laser. If you don't want the red dot, you can swap it out for the stipple grip tape instead, but I use this build for mid to long range, so I prefer some type of like optics on my HBR. So yeah, recently the OWC marksman for the HBR got a buff reducing its negative effects, which makes this barrel even better. So make sure you use the OWC marksman barrel. That's all for my HBR build. Moving on to my pistol build, what I'm using is MIP flash guard 45 compact. So like all of these attachments basically just gives me higher mobility and higher ADS time, and I'm using OWC laser tactical. Okay, this is the most important. It gives me a 20% fire increase. So without it, you will see 41 fire rate. With it, you will see 47 fire, which it just increases your fire rate basically. And then I have the 20 round mag reload. This gun's basically, I use this mainly in search and destroy. Like when I'm out of bullets, I can just swap to my pistol. This gun has such a high fire and magazine capacity, which makes it like kind of like a small SMG type. So yeah, remember, swap your pistol, it's faster than reloading. Now for my AK-117 build, I'm using OWC marksman, red dot, no stock, OWC laser tactical, and 48 round extended mag. So recently this gun hasn't got a buff or a nerf. I mean, it's pretty good. This has an insanely high fire rate and it has good damage. This has really controllable recoil. This build I'm using, you can just use it at long range. You can just like tap fire, or maybe you can hold the shoot button and you can still control the recoil. If you guys like don't want to use a red dot, you guys can use something now like monolithic suppressor, or you guys can use where's a stipple grip tape. There's like a bunch of options. You can just play around and find one that like fits your playstyle, but I like it better at mid to long range, so this is what I'm using for my AK-117. Okay, now moving on to my ASM-10. What I'm using is monolithic suppressor, OWC marksman, no stock, OWC laser, and 40 round extended mag. The reason that I don't use this gun too often is because all the like free tap weapons basically kind of got a nerf. I mean, ASM-10 got a nerf, and then then buff and then nerf another buff. So I think in the most recent buff what combo did was I think reduce the hit flinch of the no stock, I think, and then in the previous buff they increased the ADSV. So there's like a bunch of pros and cons. I mean, this gun is still pretty viable, right? You can use it if you want. I mean, you know, like, it's not the best, but you can, like, it's still pretty good in rain. I think it's a 3-shot or a 4-shot, so be sure to try this out in rain. This is all for my ASM 10. Okay, now for my Q39 class, which I use for search and destroy, like, basically. So what I'm using is no stock. This will increase my ADS time and my movement time. And then I'm using monolithic suppressor, OWC laser tactical, and Mercury gives me vertical recoil and hip fire bullet spread. So yeah, that's a win-win. I'm using 45 round extended mag. You guys are like, wait, why am I using 10mm 30 round? Gives me more damage and more range. I mean, in search and destroy, like, I tend to like, it's probably like people grouped up, so I figure like I need more bullets than like a higher damage, so I just prefer a bigger magazine. That's all for my Q39 class. If you're wondering what I'm using for my Quirks for search and destroy, I'm just basically using a thermite, a smoke grenade, and I'm using lightweight, and I'm using Cobalt. It basically like helps me like when people get their shock RC, like, or UAV, I can shoot it down, but shock RC, like, that's why I'm using Cobalt to deal with the shock RC. And then now also moving on to my pistol loadout for search and destroy. This is my akimbo loadout. Like, Combo needs to nerf akimbo pistols before the break the game because they basically can just one-shot you at close range. So I'm using MIP flash guard, basically hip fire. Marksman, I get the range and the ADS bullet spread. Akimbo, obviously, and then MIP laser, hip fire bullet spread, and sprint to fire delay, and then extended mag A. I just feel like there's just like not a need for a trigger because I think like barely makes a difference. So I'm using like extended mag instead of trigger. This gun is extremely good at close range. Like, basically when round bullets and they're like, there's an enemy right, you can just swap out and pew pew, and they're like, basically if you're accurate, one shot can kill an enemy if you're accurate. That's basically all I'm using for my deagle. Okay, now for my sniper class. So recently the DLQ got a buff. I don't know if you guys read patch notes, but DLQ got a buff. So what the buff was, they increased the damage from 80 to 90. Also increased the wall penetration, which makes this gun really good, probably like better than Locust. So when you use MIP light, you get ADS time. Using skeleton stock, I mean, you can use combat stock if you want more ADS time, but like, I don't really care about ADS time as a sniper. I just want like better like movement speed than ADS. So if you want more ADS, you can use combat stock. If not, just stay with skeleton stock. And using OWC laser, you obviously get ADS time and then extended mag A. And then for my perks, I'm using you can use whatever perk you want. I'm using max starting ammo because I have what's it called, ghost on this class, so I don't put vulture. You can use like whatever you want. You can use FMJ if you want, or you can just use light suppressor if you want it. Silence. That's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. Live streams on Saturday, and bye.